once again to go racing.
The pressure is really on now.
And it's pole position.
And it's pedal to the metal. Go, go, go!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to PSGL Season 29. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. It is time for the first season on the F1 2021 game cycle. Can't you believe it? And we kick things off with the PC platform. After huge success with the PC side last season with a fantastic action, we've increased from 1 tier to 5 tiers, which is absolutely amazing, and 4 out of the 5 tiers are racing tonight. And it's a PC F3 tier taking centre stage first, and we head to the famous Sakhir International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix, where it's been holding races since 2004 and became a night race since the hybrid era started in 2014. Now, I usually take you through the action this season will be one of our newest commentators to PSGL, Jackson, but unfortunately he's unable to make it this evening. So you got me, Jess Ball, as your commentator for this evening, and I'm here to make sure that the action does not get missed. We've got some great talent on the grid tonight, and all of them have one goal, and that is to be the PSGL F3 champion. And this is where the drivers are going to be racing this season. We have got opening in Bahrain, obviously, tonight. And then next week we head to the Circuit Paul Ricard in France. Then we head to Belgium towards the end of August. Then we've got the Netherlands in Zandvoort. Then we head to Monza, Great Britain, Austria, China, and then Japan. And then we got a break week because F1 Esports is that week. So it makes no sense that we do race that week. So that's why we have a break week. And then we have Mexico, United States, and we end off the season in one of my favourite tracks on the calendar, Brazil. And there's really great tracks and some difficult tracks as well. So we have to see what the drivers will be faced with and which drivers suit which tracks. And since most of these guys, well, pretty much all of these guys have not raced in PSGL before, this is a real eye-opener as to what we could expect from these drivers. Some of them had experience in the top tier last season. Of course, I mentioned Alex O'Grady, who I have to say is an amazing driver who only did karting at 12 years of age. Absolutely incredible. I still can't believe it myself, and lots of other people. But without further ado, we may as well talk to you through the lineup, because I think we're about to get started with qualifying, so we better get started very quickly. So the lineup for PSGL F3 this season: we have got Vexit, Alex O'Grady, Carter Lundy, Barricade, Modesto Mina, Sergey Cressida, Leonard, Con Dam, John TF1, Shizu Kersey, VRT Sandro, Tzvetkov, I can't even say the name, I do apologise, Jake Finch, Viasar Corney, Luca, Sink Jasty, Pablo Hoglar, PPR Damien, Shizu Nomzi, and Alp Okaya. Then we got reserves. Some of the reserves are actually filling in tonight. We got Leftid, Salia, Mentalum Yon, 1 second, and Daniel Rocker as our reserves. So I'm just going to check if we are ready to go. Yes, we are ready to go. Oh, good timing. Good timing. So let's get cracking then with this race. Now, like we said, this was the first track which was held as a night race back in 2004. Michael Schumacher won the first ever Bahrain race, and Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg for a classic duel the same year at the track switched to a night racing, and it was one of the most well known battles in the circuit. There was plenty of others in league racing as well. It costed $150 million to construct, with nearby attractions being the University of Bahrain and the only nature reserve and zoo on land in the country. Pretty incredible. Track is 5.4 kilometers long. It has 15 turns, 6 to the left, 9 to the right, with 3 DRS zones and 1 at the start-finish straight, 1 between turn 3 and 4, and 1 between turn 10 and 11. So I think the main overtaking opportunities we're potentially going to be seeing tonight, heading towards turn 1 and heading towards turn 4 as well. I do remember last season in PSGL, both PC and PlayStation went to Bahrain Short, and I'm so gutted that Bahrain Short is not on this game. I just don't like it. I would have preferred it to be there as well, but there we go. We've got Bahrain, so jobs are good. And we were just waiting for one driver who was taking absolutely forever. And we are loaded in to the session, ladies and gentlemen, which is brilliant. So that is good timing. I thought we were going to have to restart the lobby, but thank goodness we are not. So, like I said, we got a few reserves filling in tonight, but because I believe Vexit is not here tonight, so Lefted is in one of the drivers' place. Daniel Rocker is in the Aston Martin tonight. And we got 1 second, who is one of the reserves, is also filling in too. So, plenty of action to see, and to be honest, I can't wait. And we're just riding on board with both of the Ferraris going out at exactly the same time. So, that's all good. And let me know if you can hear the game sound all right, guys. Fingers crossed you can. But, as usual, it is an 18-minute qualifying session for our F2, F3, F4 and F5 tiers on the PC platform. And on the F1 side on PC, that's where you can see the action tomorrow at 7 PM. That is when full qualifying is happening. So the lower tiers don't get to experience it, but maybe in a few seasons' time we'll have to find out. I wonder if we're going to have some records broken tonight with lap times, because some of these guys will probably want to be experimenting with strategy, but since it is the first race of the season, we don't know how it's going to go. We don't know what the order is. I tried to make predictions before the stream, but there's no way we will know the order right away as well, because F2 and F3 grids are so stacked with talent. They are the stars of tomorrow, not gonna lie. These are the stars where the esports teams could be looking at for the future. And then we can thinking, hey, I might want to sign them to develop them to maybe be an F2 driver, or maybe be in F1 esports potentially as well. Now the game sound is a bit quiet, so I will turn it up just a tad when we head to the race. So I will sort that, because I can't really minimize that, unfortunately. But here we go then. Let's go on board with a hot lap. Now there's a few things to point out for some of you that haven't been on the F1 games as much. Basically, there is only one fuel mode that the drivers have in qualifying, and that is standard. And if they use standard in qualifying, they will go into the race with it. Now, some of these curves can be a bit deadly around here. Some people have spun a bit in practice. You're going to be heading towards turn 4, past the DRS zone here. And this is where we saw Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen battle it earlier on this year for the opening round of the season. I have to say, pretty incredible. Now, turn 7 needs to swing immediately to the left a little bit. You pass now into turn 8 and 9. With that left curve. And this is the heaviest braking zone on the track. A few drivers get it wrong, and personally, on this game, I find it a lot easier. But it may just be me, and that's probably why I'm in the commentary box and not on the racetrack. So there we go. So, past turn 12 now. This is a very understeery part of the track. And these are the first time that the drivers will be having setups, because for the social races and the esports invitationals on PC, they were only allowed to run preset setups, so we get to see the driver's real potential. So here we go then. The Shazoo driver is coming towards the line. Let's see what he can do. It is going to be a 126.2, and expect lap times to be a lot quicker than that right now, as we have the other Ferraris going slightly quicker as well with a 124.8. 9:37. Expect lap times to be around about that. Maybe to the 123s we're lucky, but 124s is very, very good as well. Now, this is a man that I've commentated on before, left it in the Season 27 Xbox. Now, it's good to have him on the PC side, and it's very tricky at times to transition from one platform to another. I've spoken to a few drivers on the PC platform. I think it was Cookie Games who made the transition from PS4 to PC recently. And there's so much more grip on PC. Like, it's so much more responsive. There's less input lag as well. And the drivers just get quite a bit more shot, as it were. So, you know, expect some of these drivers to be a little bit off the pace at the moment. But in a few races' time, they should be fine. And here is Alex O'Grady, the man that the drivers, well, the pundits in the placement stream last week were predicting to do quite well this season. He is in the McLaren. So he is going to come across the line to set a 125.0. So not quite in the 124s yet. We've got Carter Lindy, another driver who we was expected to be in F2 this season. He was a bit disappointed again to F3, but the admins will like to improve us wrong. Prove why you deserve to win the F3 title, and you could be put into F2 in season 30. Now, he was picked up by Shazoo very recently as well. Shazoo has been already scouting talent, as is a few other esports team in the business as well. And just to point out, Alex O'Grady was a world karting champion, so yes, he is a real deal, I have to say. So Carter Lundy comes across the line. Numsy goes fast as his Shazoo compatriot. What could Carter Lundy do? Only P3 for now. Let's see who else is on a lap. We've got Condam, who I believe is back in the session, but unfortunately he has invalidated due to track limits. And let's see, we've got Bolden on a lap 2. And he's purple sector 1 now. Please don't think purple sector 1 is actually purple sector 1. Take it with a pinch of salt. But he's not looking too bad. Some of these drivers, I do not know the pure pace of these drivers, so it's hard to tell which tracks they will do right and which tracks they will do wrong. But obviously you'll have Jackson taking you through the action from next week onwards when we head to France, so he'll probably have a little bit more of an idea of the drivers than I do. To pass turn 12 now in the Alfa Romeo. Good to see we have a full grid for the first race of the season, which is what we like to see. Let us know your predictions in the chat on who you think is going to do well. And Boyan has unfortunately invalidated, so we'll go on board with someone else. Let's see. LR 1 second past turn 1. He, I believe, has not set a lap time yet, so let's see what he could do as well. Now, a few changes to the damage model this season, for those of you that are unaware. You can now damage the side and the floor, which might make you think twice before dive bombing into certain corners, in particular towards turn 10 and maybe turn 4 as well. What's more, your F1 car could take damage to the rear if someone shunts you from behind. And if you get side pod damage, floor damage, or even rear ring damage, that is unrepairable. You can get diffuser damage as well, but that is highly unlikely on standard, so. But yes, front wing damage, you can repair it, but all the other damages on this game, you can't. So let's hope these drivers do not suffer those damage. And we already talked a little bit about the fuel mix. And the handling is quite different as well, as 1 second has just invalidated. So a lot of people seem to invalidate in heading towards turn 12 into turn 13. I've done that quite a lot in this game, in particular with my team career mode. So with the handling, people... Oh, Leonard had a bit of a slide there. That was not the best lap that he needed to be right now. So hopefully he can improve. Now, people with their setups ideally need to start raising the wing angles rather drastically to keep the car planted through mid and high-speed corners. Then the ideal wing angles from some tracks are a lot higher than last year. And the front end of the 2021 car is also less planted than in previous years, so that is why you get quite a lot of understeer. And the drivers also got to learn a bit of trail braking If you don't know trail braking, you've got to learn that a bit more to be better at these handling this season. And all you got to do is, if you don't know what trail braking is, basically, if I try and go on board with someone else, like Damien, for example, trail braking is basically slowly and precisely releasing the brake pedal through the braking zone and up until the apex of the corner. I don't know how to trail brake myself very well, so that is why I need some tips, because I'm going to be league racing in summer leagues, and you know, I want to obviously become a better driver. So there we go. So Damien is coming towards the final corner now, and let's see if he can get into the 1:24s with 8 minutes to go. And he does even better. He just goes fastest for the 1:24.6. Brilliant stuff from him. And I'm just going to be looking at the gaps very, very quickly. So the gap separating between the top 11 is 9 tenths of a second. It's crazy at the moment. And another driver that I've been told to watch out for is Modesto Mena. He was also a driver that is also on the PlayStation side. So I was talking about Lefted earlier, who transitioned from Xbox to PC. This guy has transferred from PlayStation to PC. And if you watch the F2 tier later on at 8 PM, which will be commentated by Chris Buxton and Dan Fields, we see a lot of people that are transferred from Xbox or PlayStation to the PC as well. So it'll be very, very intrigued to see how they can do around this track as well. So let's follow Moderna. Modesto Mena. Why did I say Moderna? I just had a jab earlier on. I had my final COVID jab. I was worried I wasn't going to get back into filling on time, but luckily I did. It was all good. We got an earlier bus, but there we go. Modesto Mena, sorry. There we go. So he hasn't invalidated so far. His lap looks pretty tiny at the moment. So let's see in the Alpine car. Now, a lot of people probably would have fought to get the Alpine car or the Aston Martin for their choices, and he goes in P4, just 2 tenths shy of pole position right now. And Courtesy as well, who is known for leagues in others like ORL, for example. He raced a lot in that. He was very, very quick there too. And some of these placements actually surprised me, but in a good way, because Courtesy, I was expecting to get into F2. But honestly, the F2 grid is stacked. On a normal day, the F2 tier would be the top tier. So, to be fair, looking back at this grid, I understand why he was put in the third tier. But he's got a point to prove. He's one of the favourites. Now, as Kato Lundy goes second, 6/100ths of a second separating the top two. Now, let's see what JC does in P18. He's got a bit of traffic behind as well. People have got to move out the way very, very nicely, which he does. Now, he's got plenty of ERS as well to do on the corners. 1 second goes fastest. So it's time is starting to increase here at PSGL. Here comes JC in the 10th. Don't forget the top 10 will have to start on the tyres that they set their fastest lap on, which will be the soft tyres. Now, I've spoken to a few drivers who have said that maybe a soft to medium would be possible. But if I were them, maybe soft to hard. I did try soft to hard when there was a safety car. It worked out quite well. It is doable, but you lose optimum pace towards the end. So maybe people outside the top 10 will be going on the hards. Don't be surprised to see everybody on the hards, but we may see quite a few people on the medium compounder tyres. And look at that, Nomsy, 4,000 of a second from pole. That is crazy. He was just so close to nicking that top spot. There's going to be so many competitors for pole position. I just can't call it right now. So let's look at the chat. We've got loads of people at the moment. We've got the pedal to the metal legend himself, George Morgan. How are you doing? Hope you're excited for F1 tomorrow, because I know I am. We've got Spars, we've got the big lad himself, we've got Connor, we've got Mark as well. Alimonda, for those of you that don't know Mark, he has made our lovely intros and outros and videos that you'll be seeing in the broadcast today. He's putting a lot of effort into those, so thank you very much to him, because without him, the videos won't be as good. So thank you very much to him as well. We got Dylan Warren cooking as well. We got Neon. We got Will Gibson. Loads of people in the chat, guys. Massive shout out to you all. So there we go. So we're about to head to the final stage of qualifying. Corny's the only driver who has yet to set a lap time. I believe he's still having troubles connecting to the lobby because he did disconnect. So hopefully someone from the lobby could join him soon. Unfortunately, I don't have him as a friend, unfortunately. I don't think. So I can't invite him. Sad times. So 3 minutes and 32 seconds to go. And we already got an amazing viewer count. I was not expecting this for F3. So massive shout out to you guys. And if you haven't done so already, there's quite a lot of you that have not subscribed. So please turn that red button into a grey button. Press that subscribe button. Like the video as well. We want to see as many likes on this video as possible. And also make sure you turn notifications on so you know when to check out all of our streams. We stream every Wednesday night, every Thursday night, every Sunday night, and every Monday. Wednesday and Thursdays are dedicated to PC and the lower PlayStation tiers. And Sunday is dedicated to our mid PlayStation tiers. And Monday is dedicated to our top 7 or 8. I think it's 8. Top 8 PlayStation tiers. So plenty of action to keep you entertained for sure. And I've just noticed that Jake Finch and someone else say exactly the same time. But Jake Finch has just come across the line in P7. Now, someone said in the chat, everyone out of top 10 is going to do medium to soft from Will Gibson. That is a prediction there. It could work. It could potentially work because people can stretch out those mediums to as long as they possibly can. Now, I've got a bit of tyre information for you in a second to tell you how long these tyres last and also the tyre deltas as well. So keep an eye on that, and I will tell you a little bit more information on the formation lap. As Lefty, the driver that I was riding on board with, has finally set a time which I was expecting, a 1:24.4. He was looking quite good in Bahrain practice earlier, so I'm expecting him to do very well here. Boyan goes through sector 2, past turn 10. Let's see who's about to start their final lap. We do have a Ferrari. I need to actually check what Ferrari it is. No, it's not him. It is Alp, who I believe is about to finish a lap. Yes, he's about to finish a lap. There we go. A 1:24.793. Ooh, can we get into the 1:23s? I doubt it. But it's not in the realms of impossibility, if that makes sense. And I believe Corny is now back. Oh, Alp has done a Mazda spin. That's exactly the same place Mazepin spun. But luckily, he got hardly any damage, so he's all good. And there's huge traffic heading towards the final sector, so plenty of people want to have clean air as well. Don't forget, you're not allowed to give slipstream to your teammate. That is banned for this season. If you do get caught out doing it, you will get penalised by the stewards. The stewards will be watching. The commentators will be watching, and the admins, of course, will be watching and be watching the stream back as well. And I do believe that Alp did get rear damage, but I don't know. It was quite impossible to tell from the onboard. So, are we ready to see the final times on the board? It is the calm before the storm here. Damien has just made it a Haas 1-2. 2,000 per second left. It unfortunately can't improve. He goes into the pits. He realised that he's probably done enough there. And I believe that is a Red Bull, I think, of Kersey. Nope, it's not Kersey. It's one of the Alpines. It's hard to tell with the colours because obviously we have Alpine, Williams, and Red Bull. It's just quite difficult. But we will get the hang of it, guys. We will get the hang of it. So, we're going to come across the line now. Sandro improves, but Carter Lundy makes it into P1. We've got an Alpine of Sally who just goes into the pits. Next, we have a Red Bull of Nomzi. He was pole earlier on. Can he get pole now? We'll have to find out. No, he doesn't in 5th position. Next, we got a McLaren. He goes in into the pit lane. We got the other McLaren The wildcard champion himself, Alex O'Grady, unfortunately invalidates his lap time. What about Con Dam? He goes into the pits too. The Aston Martin. I'm trying to find out what Aston Martin it is. He can't improve, sadly, either. Haas driver of Damien. I think he's slowing down. Yep, he's going into the pit lane. What about Leonard? He's slowing down, so he can't improve. John F1 in the Mercedes. We'll see. Nope, he can't get pole position either, but he's going to finish anyway because it is quicker than, obviously, going into the pits, because going into the pits takes forever. And look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Top 3 represented by half a tenth. Almost. Is it F1 Esports? Because it sounds like it is. And the top 6 by nearly 2 tenths. Now, if you were looking on the PSGL Twitter at Premier SimGL, they said that the PC F2 and F3 tiers are stacked. And I have to agree, F3 is stacked. This is crazy. And this is a no assist tier. I am looking forward to seeing what this race unfolds. And I'm looking forward to be filling in the commentary box tonight. I may have no voice by the end of it, but let's hope not. Hopefully I will have a voice. But anyway, here we go. Let's go through your results then. So Carter Lindy takes pole position by 4/100ths of a second for lefted. Damien in 3rd position, 1 second in 4th. Nomsey in 5th. Leonard in 6th. Modesta Mena in 7th. Boyan in 8th. Condam in 9th. Curtsy in 10th. Jake Finch in 11th. Alex O'Grady in 12th. Alp in 13th. John in 14th. Tsvetkov in 15th. Jay in 16th. Sally in 17th. Daniel Rocco in 18th. Sandro in 19th. And Corny in 20th. Did not set a lap time. And now, are we ready for the race action? Let's go. Right, welcome back to some PSGL F3 action. The drivers are getting their strategy sorted, their tyres. We are ready to witness the action. We are about to witness history here today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And it's going to be a fantastic race. No rain expected, because it is to be expected in Bahrain, of course, unless they put the sprinklers on. We don't know, but you never know. Strange things have happened in Bahrain. So, we are about to do the formation lap. So, let's see what tyres everybody is on. And I will go through a little bit on the strategy. So, top 10 are on the soft compound of tyres. And the bottom half are on the medium compound of tyres. So, I thought quite a few more people would go on the hards. I wasn't expecting it to be an even split between the drivers, and that was the strategy that just popped up on the screen briefly. Now, a few real-life facts to note as well, actually. Lewis Hamilton holds the record for most wins at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Mercedes equal Ferrari is the most successful team in Bahrain. And Bahrain is only one of a handful of current F1 circuits where McLaren have not yet recorded the victory. So, can Mercedes recreate records tonight with Carter Lindy? You put the car on pole position, but it's all about staying there. You do not get points on a Saturday. You do not get points in qualifying. You get points in the race. Let us know your predictions. Who do you think is going to be winning this race? We'll have to find out, but I've got a bit of an information on the strategy for you as well. So, the ones on the mediums, they have 2 choices. They can either do medium to soft, which is a big gamble, or if they want to have durable tyres, which I recommend you do, medium to hard. Now, the softs can last 10 laps, mediums last 14 laps, and the hards last 18. So, if you want to do a softer hard strategy, it could just about make it. And there is safety car turned on, and you never know. We've seen safety cars in the PSGL before around this track. I have seen it in many seasons gone by, so it is to be expected. So, a few people card to Lindy to win. And apparently, I think George is predicting Turn 7 will claim a few cars tonight. I won't be surprised if that happened. And a few people predicting Corny Masterclass from the back. Last 2 challenge. Some people are saying that the alternate strategy could work, but we have to wait and see. So let's go on board with, let me just find him, there we go. P3 at the moment. This is so exciting, I cannot wait. The 5 red lights are coming on. The first race of season 29 is underway. Carter gets a good start, so does Lefted, and everyone is going to try and make it towards a very tricky turn 1. The Red Bull of Nomsy's got a good start as well. Let's see what happens. As look at that Haas there as well, getting a much better start than Carter. Lundy Lefted takes the lead then into turn 2. Nomsy, see if he can try and get past 1 second. We'll have to find out. A few people sliding a little bit there. Here comes Nomsy. Here we go, going a bit wide. They're almost doing a Max Verstappen type of line there. Everyone keeping together at this moment, which is all we want to see here at PSGL Turn 7. Like we said, could have a victim. Alex O'Grady is making his way through the field as well. He is swamped by 2 Ferraris into turn 8. This is going to be good. Heavy braking zone at turn 10. And very important that you get it right, which they try and do anyway. And we already got our first penalty of the session already. I was not expecting to get this penalty this early on, as JC has made his way up into 11th place. The highest medium runner is P10. Curtis had a really awful start. He's dropped down into 16. So I wonder if he's got a bit of damage or if he's made some contact with anyone. And yep, he's dropping down the field, or maybe just being cautious. I think he has got damage because he's now dropping down into last place. I won't be surprised if Sally overtakes him. Oh, there's a bit of contact in the final corner. Now, definitely damaged now, and it's definitely more than front wing damage. I can tell you that. That car looks awful. So he will have to change his strategy a little bit. Sandro also goes into the pits as well. So that is also damage for him. Sandro, I wonder if he'll go for another set of the medium tyres, or will he go on to the hards? He goes on to the hards. And we did so well in lap 1. I thought we were going to get no timing glitch, but unfortunately we do. At least it doesn't happen in the start though, which is better than last game. But Kersey's not leading, it's still Lefted, at least we know. So at the moment, I believe, if my calculations are correct, we have a Haas 1-2. Now, we don't normally see this in real life, so don't forget these drivers and the lobby is set to equal performance. So, you know, yes, it is a Haas 1-2. You're not seeing things. Stop the clock, stop the count. Carter Lundy, though, on pole, not the best of... He had a good getaway, but he just got swamped at the start. And to be honest, if you want a challenge for the championship, you've really got to capitalise. And unfortunately, Carter Lundy did not capitalise. And we could see the Aston Martin of 1 second really start to gain momentum. Now we're going to have this huge ERS is going to get the DRS train. So let's watch 1 second then as we head towards turn 1. He's looking very, very good. And we've got Carter Lundy that has to go defensive. Can the Aston Martin keep its line? He does. Fantastic from him. He's up into 3rd place and already on the podium spot. Incredible from the Aston Martin. 1 second. Don't forget, I believe he is a reserve driver. Now, if he wants a point to prove here, if someone quits or drops out halfway through, he could be the man to replace them in a heartbeat. Now, another driver that is looking quite close is Jake Finch in 10th place. He's gained 1 position after Kersey having a bit of issues earlier on. And he's looking to try and get past Leonard. And Leonard, oh! Let's go on board. Someone's gone off, I think. It may be Alex O'Grady, who's had a bit of an off. Yes, it is. Quite a few cars came together there. Doesn't look like he has got a massive bit of damage, but... And left it a spun as well. There's so many spinners. I think there's a few people that are finding the handling not too good at the moment. So that pushes Damien into the lead. 1 second in second. A tongue twister. Yeah, you know. Carter Lundy in third now. Nomsy in fourth. But Nomsy could get Carter as well. And it's only one way to find out. But Nomsy is just a little bit too further back. So I wonder if we're going to see multiple drivers in the pits. Meanwhile, Jake just goes around the inside of Jake Finch and he's up into 8th. Jay has probably gained the most positions out of anybody in the field so far. And Lefty, who had a brilliant start earlier on, has retired from the session. He has given up, which is a bit of a shame. Because every time you on the racetrack, you learn so much more, especially if you transferred into PC recently. So he should have kept going personally, but hopefully he will have a much better result next week. And Sandro has retired, and that is also in the pit lane. So Nomsy has already lost DRS, which could benefit Carter Lundy. And he's trying to get rid of Slipstream so Boyan doesn't get Slipstream. Cheeky tactics there. So let me get the position changes actually, just to give you an idea, as we've got more yellow flags. That is of Sandro's AI. Okay, so Jay does gain the most, as well as Corny as well, from last to 12th. He's having a good drive so far. Let's go on board with Corny. He's looking like he's going to get past the Ferrari driver soon as well. To be honest, him starting at the back and having connection issues is probably not too bad. And he was another driver that was disappointed to get F3. But to be honest, if you want to prove that you want to stay, if you want to go in a higher division, make sure you climb these positions. And he's doing a great job so far. Can he pull the alternate strategy? We'll have to wait and see. We also got quite a few people gained a few positions. John and Shvedkov gained 4, but Boying's gained 3. The top 3 have all gained 2 positions. Carter Lundy's dropped down 3. Obviously, he started in pole position. Biggest loser at the moment out of the ones that are still in this race. Curtsy down 8 positions. So there we go. So let's get the tyres up for you again. So you get an idea of the tyres now. It will be about 5 laps time where the drivers will be thinking to pit. Maybe a few laps earlier, potentially, for the undercut. And Leonard is looking good on those soft tyres. He's in a train with Corny and Shvedkov. Corny's gone a bit wide, actually. Heading towards turn 12. No damage, though. He just lost it a little bit there. He's got to move out of the way. That was close, Corny. Very, very close. But he's lost a bit of ground now. But maybe he's just not finding the handling of the car to be too great. Maybe the setup's not good or something. But that's lessons learned for next week. Let's watch back to the front then. Number 30 versus the number 51. 1 second, looking very good to take the lead here. He's got plenty of ERS as well. Corny is into the pits, so he must have got damaged somewhere. And 1 second, can't get past. But we got Shvedkov that got past Daniel Rocket up into 12th position. But look at this, we still got people going side by side. Shvedkov is holding on for dear life, but there's nothing that he could have done. They're still going side by side, heading in towards 5, 6, and 7. Wheel to wheel. This is absolutely fantastic. Someone's gone off. That might be Rocker. Actually, no, he stays behind. He's still in his battle. This could be 3 abreast very, very soon. Someone will have to back off. And Daniel Rocker is doing absolutely amazing. He's planting the car in places which you didn't even know existed. It's crazy. He's looking quite good to get past into turn 12, 11 and 12 now. Here he comes. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff from Daniel. But look at this. Shvedkov is going to get the switchback. My oh my. But unfortunately that did not work. Maybe the Ferrari boys will be using each other to help each other out. But fair play to Daniel Rocker. He could get Leonard soon because the soft tyres are starting to die, and I had confirmation that Corny was losing his front wing. So he did get damage there. Not quite sure where he got damage, but he got damage. Now, Boyan and Shvedkov. Shvedkov is out the race. So he's retired in the pit lane. That is interesting. So he might have got some damage somewhere else. But Boyan has gone onto the hards really early. That is very brave. Now, just as a quick reminder as to how long these tyres last. Tyres last 18 laps. It can be done. It can be done, but you got to be tyre saving to perfection, so it's going to be cutting it fine. I wonder if he's going to do a soft run at the end or maybe a two-stop. We don't know. We don't know. But we will see. We will see. Anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. He's probably hoping also for a late safety car. Because like we said, safety cars can happen. It can happen. And we're seeing, I think we did see glimpses of the Vettel and Alonso rivalry that's happened earlier on this year with Leonard and Daniel Rocca, but we got some battles happening and in the front of the field towards Modesto Mena and Carter Lundy. Modesto goes into the pits. Will Carter follow him in? I don't think so. Carter stays out, but we got 3 more drivers probably responding to that undercut. So here he goes, onto the hard tyres. Everyone, I think, is going onto the hard tyres. Well, you can't go onto the mediums. If you go on the medium tyres, it strongly suggests for a two-stop. I still think it's really early. I doubt that the tyres are going to make it, but I am not a strategist. There are strategists in some teams and some parties at the moment that are probably thinking, no, it can be done. But you never know. Looks like the Ferrari and the Aston Martin are fighting once again, but this time it's Ozkaya on Daniel Rocca. Daniel Rocca is definitely a race to heart tonight. He's been giving it more than any driver on this grid right now. So we will see. We've got to also keep an eye on the battle for the front as well. Damien versus 1 second. We'll see if 1 second can close into Damien in a lap's time before these drivers go in into the pit lane. So, I don't think 1 second is close enough. Nope, he's not. And Damien's going into the pits, and that suggests a signal to 1 second is in the pits as well. Again, still quite early, but they can make the tyres to the end more than the guys that pitted a lap or 2 ago. So, let's watch out on Nomzi as both of these drivers go out. So, Nomzi is the first driver who had pitted a lap ago to go onto the hard tyres. So, we'll see if he can get ahead of him. And it's going to be tight, but 1 second takes ahead of Nomzi, and Damon is miles ahead. So he's got past some traffic, whereas 1 second struggling a little bit, I think. So he needs to make his way past 2 or 3 cars now. Well, he's got to make past Sally, actually. And Sally will be pitting very, very soon for the hards, I expect. So that means Carter Lundy is the only driver out of the ones that started on the soft tyres yet to make a stop. And he's fighting with his Mercedes teammate, and you can already see the delta difference between John TF1 and Carter Lundy. So, would that be strongly suggest a sign of them pitting? Now, the delta time between the softs and the mediums. Let me just have a look. 1.074 seconds. Soft and the hards 1.6. Once the softs get worn, the mediums get better. The crossover point. That is the thing that we're trying to talk about here. And Carter Lundy stays out for another lap. Maybe he wants to make sure his tyres go to the end, but I'm almost certain Carter Lundy is going to drop massive positions. But it may come to his fortunes towards the end. You never know. You never know. Now, just a quick reminder as well, whilst there's quite a bit of action on track and not many movements, There is some more PC action to come at 8 o'clock. You can get another tab open. Keep this tab open for F3 because this is some great action so far. But get another tab open at 8 o'clock. And, and my game has just crashed. Oh, God. Typical Codemasters at its finest. So, hopefully, I can get an invite.